trying to do no introductory thing here. You see what the title is and you know what I'm going to be going on about, so strap in. Also, if you like this video, like and subscribe, since I'm trying to get to 1,000, but okay, I'm done with all that. I genuinely want to like go into why I hate the Gorosei now. Now, if you'd asked me a year ago how I feel about the Gorosei, I'd have said, yeah, you know what, they're all top 5. Yeah, I don't know. After this arc, I don't know what to say about them. They're kind of worthless. I'm gonna give you guys a week by week playback of how terrible they are, and you're gonna sit here and see how bad they are. So come, I want to show you. Now, in the beginning, they were known as the Godheads, and obviously a lot of people were like, okay, and I think the other translation was something cool. I can't be able to go find it because I actually don't want to do that much effort for these men, because these men have actually annoyed me, but don't worry. All you need to know is that previously, before this, people didn't actually think they were fighters, and they was basically confirmed to be fighters from this one chapter, and everybody was like, okay, they're gonna be top tiers, they're gonna be a top 5. Boy, was we wrong. Now, this chapter was directly, I won't say directly, but it was in a short time span between him appearing on Egghead and obviously this chapter releasing. And when he got to Egghead and he was doing like those mad hockey things with his little summoning demon circle, we all thought, okay, cool, wait, hold on, he actually might be top 5. And it's not like the story wasn't trying to support this. It had him taking out people lower than Rear Admiral out with a single hit. And I'm not gonna lie, he did kind of do something to Sanji, but obviously Sanji was off guard, and that wasn't the right Sanji, like, relax. Nevertheless, it enters into a flashback and it comes back, and the first thing this guy does after the flashback, it's like he got a nerf during the flashback, because he gets punched by Kuma. And I just want to say, Kuma, he's on death's door. Kuma's on death's door, and he got, just look at the panel, man. Now, so we've seen people like Zoro damage Kaido, and it's kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. A way weaker character can damage like a stronger character. But it's the fact that it's not the first and only time a weaker character does something to this guy. So immediately, the smart people in the fandom, I'm just gonna say it, the smart people in the fandom were like, okay, cool, the Deadpool merchants. If you don't know what Deadpool merchant is, it's a regen merchant. I know you're gonna think, why not Wolverine? But one of them got their heads cut off, and like, I'm kind of spoiling it for you, but still, I don't really care. One of them got their heads cut off, and he kind of just came back later, so, I mean, yeah. So all the way back from then, we knew that there were technically going to be some sort of regen people, so that they can't really be damaged too tough, but we didn't know it was going to be to the point where they'll be relying on it the whole time. Anyway, Luffy gets back and they start fighting again, and the only reason Saturn even looks a little bit good is because Kizaru went down in quotation marks and he came back to come fight Luffy. But what you need to understand is that Saturn was basically he was getting his hand held by Kizaru like he's a baby. You know, like Sukuna and like Maharaga meme where he's like, oh, go deal with him. That's what happened. That's basically just what happened. The funniest thing out of all of this is, as soon as Kizaru goes down, not a single thing they try to accomplish ever happens. So obviously with Kizaru down, Saturn's like, alright, cool, I gotta call in my friends. And you know what this is like? This is like, I don't know. This is the best way to explain it. This is like the Holy Knights, and I should say Garling and Kizaru were fighting together. Garling like goes down or whatever, and Kizaru calls in Green Bull and Fujitora. That's what it's like. Are you hearing how pathetic this is? And now you're about to hear why the real slander happens. So they all get summoned in, right? All four of them are like, oh, crazy Haki's happening. Everybody's like, oh, crazy Haki's happening, and then cool. Luffy's sitting there, he's like, oh, that's cool. Now them summoned there, they get one cold panel, and this is when they start doing all the little things. First of all, whoever the worm guy is, I think it's Jupiter, you are worthless. You are worthless. You are genuinely worthless. You didn't do a single thing the whole arc. He genuinely can never make it. He should be cooking up food. You see how he's the agriculture guy? He should be cooking up food for the Gorosei for when they get back. He should be sitting in the apron and robe saying, oh guys, you're back, okay, here's the food. That's what he should be doing. Why is he on the battlefield? He genuinely does nothing. He's a worm. Bro, like, go, right? Mind you, he's one of the first people to get taken out. And now Mars obviously flies off and does his own thing. Mars was going to be, well, he used to stay here to be one of the more impressive ones, since he does like spam his haki everywhere. And he does bring fear into Lucci. And bringing fear into Lucci is pretty hard, since this guy doesn't really fear anything. Like, he stayed down gear 5, took a Zoro attack and was like, cool, whatever, let me try to fight again. And he doesn't really get scared. And so seeing him get scared is kind of like, okay, cool, these guys have to be some sort of like powerful people. Mars in particularly, I think that's when we got like, okay, cool, we'll give him a chill pill. The rest of them, nah, we got to actually just talk about them. Kree was looking alright, like he did tank a few blows and he was screaming off Luffy's like scar and everything like it was a gag. So while Kree, yeah, his haki is actually alright, but when I get into why their haki is so strong later, you're gonna be like, okay, cool, it's not really that much of a feat. So obviously Nojiro's going around cutting everything up here, and he runs into my main man Sanji, and Sanji gives him a kick in his face like he deserves. And after seeing that, I'm not gonna lie, my expectations for Noshijuro just went down, because you mean to tell me you was bleeding and having to regen your face from base Sanji? Are we really meant to be taking these men seriously? No liar, of course Noshijuro did a very, very impressive attack after, but it's the fact that he missed Bonnie. How the hell do you miss Bonnie? She was right in front of you. Like, you got feats like this where I'm like, I don't think other feats that he does later are even impressive. I know you're going to say, oh, like he kept the island if he kept his own. It wasn't even a chapter, I think it was a few panels later, but I mean, I really don't care. His overall performance was poor. He was bullied by Sanji, stopped by Atlas, and bullied by Zoro. Like, what am I really here for? What do you give to the team? He gives nothing. Aside from Mars and Wakari, the rest of them just walk around like they actually do stuff. They don't do anything. I didn't see them do a single thing. Noshijuro gets a pass because he looks cold in quotation marks. Jupiter does nothing. He literally doesn't do a single thing. And I forgot who the third one is. Who's the third one? Oh, Saturn. I know I said I was gonna do this chronologically, but I can't. Like, they're actually so bad I need to just address them as like a whole group. Right, so there's 5 players in the team, right? So I can just like equivalent this to an NBA team. This is like having Trae Young and Jason Tatum on the team along with the rest of other bums. Like, they're not good themselves. Like, okay, cool, you can give them a little like props here and there, but they're not good. Like, they look like actually like really, really good, but they have to carry other doodoo players along with them. So it's kind of like, oh, like trash is carrying trash. Like, mind you, their whole objective was to stop the broadcast. They didn't do a single thing. They didn't stop the broadcast. So Kizaru's main job was to kill Vegapunk. He killed Vegapunk. And guess what? His job basically doomed them. Their job spawned from him doing his job. I bet if Kizaru was in the island though, the job would have been done. Mind you, Kizaru wasn't in the best mental state the whole arc. Yeah, he was able to get his job done. Yet you mean to tell me that the Gorosei, I didn't even say they're mentally amped because they hate Vegapunk for trying to do what they were doing. Look at their faces every single time Vegapunk would say something. These guys would be like, what? What do you mean he's saying that? And let me tell you, you couldn't like use that rage to do anything. Alright, man. But the end of the arc comes, yeah, and they all get blasted away. Mars gets blasted away by Sanji, Bonnie, and Frankie, and Luffy, of course. Which, I mean, look, listen. Mars was doing up numbers. Mars was flying around, he was doing up numbers. He was probably one of the only ones aside from Wakari. Wakari, you get a pass because you're kind of like very durable. I don't know. You've seen the panel on screen. I don't know. Like, Mars was doing the most. Like, he was literally flying around. He was like, okay, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do that. Oh no, they're trying to get in the way. Like, bro, he was doing everything, and then he got blasted away. And when they arrived back into that room, I want to get why they arrived back into the room, by the way. When they get back into the room, he's just sitting over his legs crossed, like, you man, like, every single time we step out, it's always you, man. I'm always the one carrying. Mars has to get the MVP for that. He has to. He literally has to get the MVP for that arc. Well, Gorosei said at least. The MVP does go to Kizaru. Like, if you really want to talk about who really saved Egghead, it was Kizaru. I know a lot of people saying it's Sanji, is this, it was Kizaru. Want to know why? Because he killed Vegapunk and got that message out. That is my take on who the MVP on Egghead was, though. Oh, by the way, Atlas was able to keep back Noshijuro for a minute for doing that Android 16 on herself, or successfully doing that Android 16 on herself. And Met said a prayer, lifted his shirt up, and let the Haki beam go off. All of them de-transformed, all of them sent back. And these men were sent back to the Gulag, also known as Marie Joie, and obviously Emu was sitting there tweaking out over Joy Boy's Haki. Now, this leads me to believe that they get their Haki from Emu, which means that Emu was doing all that work. And if that's the case, then Emu is very impressive. Like, you can't put them at fault. It's the fires. Alright, for all my Dokkan friends, you're gonna know what this is. So it's like taking a double Whis item and you still somehow get slapped by the boss. Like, how the hell does that even happen? How are you that bad? Obviously, Emu is basically feeding them Haki or whatever. He's feeding them something. I don't know what he's feeding them, but he's feeding them something, and that made him tweak out. And obviously that made him look like idiots. Because now I really want to look back on my rankings like, okay, cool. Kizaru did his job while mentally nerfed, while they were all technically angry at what was the situation that was going on, and they still couldn't do the job. You get boxed up. Listen, San got boxed up by the 5 weakest on the Straw Hat crew. Are we just look. Do you know how stupid it is to be getting boxed up by Usopp pre-Elbaf? Because we don't know what's gonna happen on Elbaf. Being boxed up by Brook, be boxed up by Nami. Oh my god, he couldn't even stop Chopper. All in all, every Gorosei member was sad, and I don't want to hear a single nigga talk about the Gorosei to me. If you talk about the Gorosei to me, I'm gonna tell you to shut up. They're not impressive. The only one that was impressive is Mars. If you want to put anybody at the top, it's Mars. Okay, the rest of them terrible. Noshijuro, I don't want to hear no more Noshijuro hype. I don't want to hear it unless he he himself is using his own haki and he's on that battlefield, I don't want to hear no Nozdro hype. The next people hyping is Garling, and I know Garling will put in work until he gets one shot by Dragon. That's just how it's gonna have to go. But yeah, the editing style for this video is gonna be a little bit different to my usual video, since it's more like a rant video, so I don't expect myself to be going like all out with it. So yeah, the Gorosei are trash. Jinbei, you're next. Hakari and Kashimo.